Shalom, shalom. Welcome. This video is about the prophet portion of Parashat Shalach, and it's from the book of Joshua, chapter 2, the entire chapter 2, verse 1 to 24. The link to the Torah portion is Joshua sending out spies, similar to what Moses did some 38 years before he did, and much like Abram's story, we read about Rahab and her family who are saved through their faith when Adonai destroys Jericho as Israel enters into the promised land. By faith, was she saved by faith? Yes, she related the stories that she heard about the Israelites to Joshua's two spies who stayed with her, and she also believed it to be true. That's her faith. Her faith wasn't just a so-far faith, not theoretical or academic. It was a faith that she acted upon, a faith put into action, faith that bore fruit. And we have to follow her example. Good day, my name is Barney de Klerk. I'm not a teacher of the Bible, I'm a student, but I love sharing what I'm learning from this week's scriptures with you, and I hope that it will encourage you, entice you to read the scriptures for yourself as well. This is Joshua chapter 2. Rahab may be the most wronged woman in history. Let's start first. It starts with her name. Rahab means storm or sea monster or pride or being proud or even large or big. Not very feminine name, you'd say. And it has a bad reflection on her as a person, as a woman, on her femininity, on her spirit, and on her faith. But it doesn't stop only with her name, Rahab. The Hebrew word which describes her as a prostitute in Joshua 2 verse 1 is zonah. Zonah in modern Hebrew means a prostitute. Literally it means a giver of comfort. Even though the majority of Jewish sages agrees that Rahab was a prostitute, there is a minority report, and that is from a secondary meaning of the word zonah, and that is the interpretation personally I favor for Rahab. In this secondary minority view, Rahab, the giver of comfort, was an innkeeper. She had a little inn, a little for traveling sojourners, tradespeople, traders as well. I believe that later on in the text, in Joshua 2, verses 12 and 13, we can read that Rahab did not have any children. And for me, that indicates that she wasn't sexually active as a prostitute would be, and she was probably an unmarried virgin. And that's why I say she's the most wronged woman in history. Because we read in those verses that she's also bringing her parents and her brothers and sisters in her house. There's no talk of a husband, there's no talk of children. So I seriously doubt and object to calling her a prostitute. I do believe she was an innkeeper and innocent. In the Gospel of Matthew, there is Rahab, actually Rahab, who married Solomon in Matthew 1 verse 5. That's in the genealogy of Yeshua, the Messiah. And this Rahab in Matthew gave birth to Boaz, the grandfather of King David, David HaMelech. But it's not the same Rahab. I know it's a common teaching that the Rahab of Jericho is in the genealogy of Yeshua. It's not the same woman. King David lived generations, or the Rahab, who was King David's great-grandmother, lived generations later. As first, the Rahab from Jericho lived at a time when Israel entered into the Promised Land. And that was more or less 1,400 years BC. And about 300 years before the time of Samuel, the prophet, who was also the high priest, who anointed both King Saul and later King David. In between this period, all of the history of the judges of Israel happened. I didn't count them specifically now again, but if I'm not mistaken, 40 judges, some of them ruling for 20 years or 40 years or whatever, with gaps in between. The Rahab of Jericho lived 300 years or more before the Rahab or Rahab who married Solomon, who's in the genealogy of Yeshua. It's not the same woman. I venture to say that if it was the same woman, the text would have noted that this woman was over 300 years old when she begat Boaz. The Bible doesn't say that, and it's ridiculous to assume that. Not the same woman. I rest my case there. In the Jewish Midrash, Rahab is named as one of the 4 most beautiful women the world has ever known. She's listed with the other beauty queens, Sarah, Avishag, and Esther. And for me, from reading not from a biblical source, but from the secret book of Eden, Cain's twin sister, Luluwa, was also rated as exceptionally beautiful, and therefore I think maybe Luluwa should be on this list as well, then expanding the list to 5 most beautiful women in history. And let me explain about Cain. Cain was born together with a twin sister, Luluwa, and she was exceptionally beautiful. And then later, Abel was born also with a twin sister. I didn't note her name, but because she wasn't as beautiful. Shame on me for saying that. But Adam and Eve's plan, or their idea, according to the secret book of Eden, was for Cain to marry Abel's twin sister and for Abel to marry Luluwa. But Cain didn't want that because Abel's twin sister wasn't nearly as beautiful as Luluwa. So Cain married his own twin sister Luluwa, and that's where the descendants of Cain comes from. And of course, Abel was murdered by Cain. So later on, Seth, who was born without a twin sister, he married Abel's twin sister, and the righteous line stems from then. So back to Rahab of Jericho. Rabbinical thought is that Rahab married Joshua, and that their descendants includes the prophets Jeremiah, Hilkiah, Sariah, Mosiah, Baruch, Ezekiel, and the prophetess Huldah as well. So all of this, in spite of there being no record in the book of Joshua of Joshua's family life, it is from extra biblical sources. But I like that. I subscribe to that because I reject the idea that that Rahab was a prostitute. I do believe she was an innkeeper. But regardless of her being a harlot or an innkeeper, we must admire Rahab for her unwavering faith and for acting on her faith, and we must do as she did. And with that, I'm praying that Adonai Eloheinu will bless you and keep you, that he will shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. I pray that he will lift his provision upon you and that he will give you shalom. Shalom, shalom.